like Yemen and Somalia, where war has not been declared, people and governments have been the target of these covert operations. Amongst the victims, Skahil met a mother that lost her entire family after a missile exploded in her home.
Following the events of September 11, 2001, the United States began fighting the war on terror with military combat operations to capture Osama bin Laden and destroy Al-Qaeda's network in Afghanistan. At the same time, the U.S. government began conducting secret operations in places where war was not officially declared.
When we started investigating the story, we discovered that it wasn't just Afghanistan, but that Obama was giving authorization to covert U.S. military units and to the CIA's paramilitary division to run operations around the world in countries where the U.S. had declared war. Barack Obama was authorizing the widespread use of drones to target initially Pakistan, but then soon countries like Yemen and Somalia found themselves in the Obama administration's radar.
الساعة 6 الصبح أنا كل نايم وكنا نجالس في مجلسة ورقي لخبز هذا سواري قلتنا هكذا قلت ساكتة دون كلام ما غراحت فينا والغاضت أنا لغت كل ما حتى هو أنت ده وعيالي وبنتي وزوجي وعيالي كلهم انتهوا ما بغيت إلا أنا وهذا وأبوه وهذا الشاب وهذا البنت.
In December of 2009, President Obama authorized the initiation of a secret air war in Yemen that would involve drones, cruise missiles, and limited involvement of JSOC forces, elite commando units, on the ground inside of Yemen. Somalia and Yemen are very, very different countries. In many ways, Somalia is sort of a laboratory for all aspects of what's called U.S. counterterrorism operations. Somalia was a country that was destroyed by warlords and then further destroyed by the intervention of the CIA and multiple countries throughout East Africa. The CIA and the U.S. military have been working with a network of warlords, and they've essentially outsourced their kill program. So they have gangsters and thugs on the CIA payroll who are essentially running their own death squads, hunting down anyone they believe that they can convince the Americans that it is an Islamic radical. And the U.S. policy in Somalia has backfired tremendously. It gave rise to a militant organization called Al-Shabaab.
So these were Shabaab fighters you buried here? If you capture a foreigner alive, you execute them on the battlefield?
So what we're seeing in Somalia is the end result of decades of U.S. intervention.
Interventions by the CIA in Somalia have striking similarities to tactical operations run by the United States on its war on drugs in Latin America.
In our own hemisphere, here in the Western Hemisphere, what we're seeing is a paramilitarization and a militarization of what the U.S. calls a war on drugs. And in many ways, this is a counterinsurgency program. The U.S. is covertly and overtly partnering with pro-American governments throughout Central and Latin America. And a story that I think we're going to see really break out into the open in the coming decade is the extent to which the United States has continued its covert military involvement throughout Central and Latin America. It resembles very much the tactics that were used in the so-called war on terror, and much of it is going to be done in the name of fighting a war on drugs.
Battlefields have been redefined as the United States fights an unconventional enemy with the war on terror and the war on drugs, and there seems to be no clear end in sight to these major international conflicts. This is Clara Ibarra, Jeremy Kaplan, Vanessa Bergonzoli, Telesur, New York.